shoot. Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Today we're going to be talking about UK knife laws. It's definitely something that I've wanted to make a video on for a long time, but for some strange reason I've just never got round to it. So I thought I'd make one today just so it's 100% clear what the laws are. This is really intended for people that are thinking of getting into EDC, but also as an EDC enthusiast I love to hear about other laws around the world, and I've joined many Facebook groups where I've talked about owning a knife, and you get a lot of people from other countries going, wow, I didn't really even realise you guys could own knives. So it's great to share the knowledge, and if you're interested in what UK knife laws outside of the UK are, then yeah, you get to learn about them a little bit more today. Before I start though, there's a couple of things to mention, and that is that I'm going to try and keep this as more of an information piece. Okay, so this is the law and this isn't the law. This is legal, this isn't illegal. As a knife enthusiast and an EDC enthusiast, it's going to be difficult for me not to put in some of my own opinions. I will try to, as much as possible, not to put in any opinion. This is just purely, this is legal, this is illegal. It's a binary thing, 1 and 0, legal, illegal. So I'll try to do that as much as possible. Secondly, I'd love to hear in the comments, what country are you from? What are the sort of laws and how do they differ? But let's try not to turn this into, wow, the UK really is naff. We all have different laws around the world, and I know you'll keep it sensible down in the comments, but I'd love to hear your comments, but it's less of a let's hate on the UK kind of thing. Okay, so oh yeah, bye. Memory's not what it used to be, so at certain points I might need to get to the phone. There are specific knives that are mentioned in the UK laws around what you can and what you can't carry, so I'll just have to go to the phone. There's going to be a point where I'm just going to have to read you like a list and some explanations on there. Okay, so let's get straight into it. First and main point is that in order for you to buy, purchase, sell, carry, use a knife here in the UK, maybe not use, I probably should have changed that word, but mainly buy, sell, carry, you need to be an adult. So in the eyes of the law, an adult is a person of responsibility that is of the age of 18 or above. Anything below that in UK law is classed as a minor. So in order to purchase something, you need to be 18 to be able to do that. The next laws really revolve around, or at least it's the same law, but it's just conditions within the law. The knife must be a folding knife, so no fixed knives to be carried. And this is an important point, and this is something that I'll get onto in a minute. And these are all to be carried within public areas or within public. Okay. So there are caveats to all of this, which again we'll touch on in a bit as well. So it can't be a fixed blade, it has to be a folding blade. The folding blade must be 3 inches or 76.2 centimeters, 76.2 millimeters, sorry, or less. Now, a lot of people we talk about is either 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters, which, what's 1.2 millimeters between friends, or at least that's what I tell Mrs. Moorlander. Anyway, so 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters or less. And the last main one really is if it is a folding knife, it can't have a locking mechanism. It should be able to be freely closed without having to press a button to be able to do that. A perfect example, and it's possibly the most unoffensive knife that you'll find here in the UK. If you pulled out a Swiss Army knife in any sort of situation, I don't think anybody would go, oh my god, there's a man running with a knife. Sorry, I'm trying not to put my own opinion into this. So a lot of people will look at a Swiss Army knife and they do see this as a tool. It has a knife that is less, or at least the cutting edge, and that's an important thing as well. It really does go on that cutting edge. So if you have a perfectly straight razor style knife, then it will be from the choil here to the end. So on a knife like this, where you have a belly here, it will be measured along the length here and then the radius of that. You do find that some knives on UK legal sites, which there are a lot of where you can purchase knives from, it will tell you exactly whether it is UK legal or not. So you might find, if you are stopped by a police constable and they ask you about it, sometimes they will just check the length from here to here, from the ricasso here up to the tip. When we're talking about a few millimeters, a lot of police officers, they're just interested to make sure that it's within those legal boundaries. But specifically, it is the measurement of the cutting edge from the choil here, if it has one, all the way to the tip, and this is within that 3 inches. It is a folding knife, and there is no mechanism to stop it from closing, so this is a perfectly legal UK knife. There are some knives, as I mentioned, that are specifically called out that it is illegal to carry, it is illegal to own, it is illegal to sell as well. So all of these knives, if you have any of these, then yeah, they're classed as illegal here in the UK. Again, with some caveats which I will get to at the end. So things like butterfly knives, where it's hidden and you know they open out. Disguised knives. There's a difference in the way in UK law things are classed as concealed, whereas you might find in the US like a CCW concealed carry weapon. It just means that it's on your body and it may be under a shirt. If I was to carry this, it would be concealed, as some people might see, it's in my pocket, but mainly concealed weapons here in the UK is something that is purposely hidden. So like in a belt buckle, where you open the belt buckle and then the knife comes out, those sort of knives are deemed as illegal. Flick knives, things like switchblades, or automatic knives. You do find that a lot of these knives are illegal throughout the world. There are some knives, damn it, I forgot the name of the knife. I'll put it, you know, there's a photo here. Even in the States, you know, some of this style of knife is illegal in certain states, or at least it has to be within certain inches for you to be able to keep those. Gravity knives. Probably should have done a bit more research on that one. Stealth knives, things like spikes or picks, that sort of thing. You see a lot of Sharpies where you take the end off and there's a spike in there. That comes under a slightly different law, but it's all still under the same law, that you've purposely modified something to make it to turn it into a weapon. So they're illegal. Zombie knives, knives with a cutting edge, a serrated edge, and an image or the words suggesting that it is used for violence. That's a very specific one. Swords, including samurai swords, swords with blades over 50 centimeters. So there is a caveat with this one, which we'll get to at the end. Stick swords, where it's hollowed out so that there is a you know, there's a sword in there. You see them in canes, that sort of stuff. Push daggers, blowpipe or blowguns, telescopic truncheons, batons, things like old-fashioned. You used to get them a lot. You get things like koshes, that sort of stuff. They are illegal to own and to use. Hollow coup batons. Also, and you might have to, I will apologise for how these are pronounced. I think I know that one. Shurikens, throwing stars, kusarigamis, they're illegal. Kayokesutsu shogis, oh, sorry about this, and kurasis, they're all illegal. Apparently these are all weapons that have a handle and then a piece of cord or rope or a chain with something on the end of it. Also hand or foot claws, very specific, and also knuckle dusters. So that's the list of things that it's illegal to own here in the UK. But as I have mentioned, there are some caveats to that, because in some of my videos you might have noticed that I own fixed blades. And the caveat is that if you are carrying any of these knives in public and you're stopped by an officer, so let's say I'm walking in public and I've got this little Moor knife on me. A police officer stops me. It's a random stop and search. Can I check your pockets? What have you got? Have you got anything in your bag? Do you have anything? Yes, officer, I have a knife in my bag. Okay, what type of knife is it? It's a fixed blade. Take it out, and the officer says, why are you carrying this? Well, actually, you know, I'm off to do some bushcraft with my daughters. Here are my daughters. You can see we're all in our bushcraft gear. This is the reason that I have this knife on me. And we just stopped to get some chips, and we're just about to go. Right. So you have to have a legitimate reason why you're carrying that. And that is the other caveat, and that is the main caveat, that if you are, it is not illegal to own a samurai sword, okay? If you are a martial arts instructor and you are, in fact, these are specifically mentioned in here, so let's go through some of these. Okay. What the UK law states is, it states as good reason for carrying a knife and a weapon. So the first one is taking a knife out if you're at work. So let's use this one as an example. Excuse me, can I ask why you're carrying this? Yes, okay, I'm a UK bushcraft instructor. I'd forgotten that it was in my pocket. I just nipped into town to grab a sandwich, and I'm just headed back out to work. That is a perfectly legitimate reason for you to be carrying a fixed blade. Second one, you're taking it to a museum or gallery. You could own, let's say, your granddad had a bayonet. The bayonet would be far too long, it's a fixed blade, and you're walking through town, somebody stops you and asks you why you're carrying that. It's a bayonet, it has historical relevance, and I am walking from my car to the museum to show them this. Are you meeting up with somebody? Yes, actually I'm meeting up with Dr. Perkins, and you know, I'm taking this to him. Can we confirm that with Dr. Perkins? Yes, of course you can. So you have a reason to be carrying that in public whilst you're taking it somewhere. If you walk into Tesco with a bayonet strapped on your waist, then you have no reason to be walking into Tesco with that strapped to your waist. Let's say for some random reason that you have a machete strapped to your waist and you're a farmer, then maybe, but still you probably could have left that in your truck. The other examples are if it's for theatre, television, or historical reenactments. There are the historical reenactment scene in the UK is thriving, so you know that's perfectly fine. And also if it's to be used to teach or to show some demonstrations, which I mentioned about a samurai sword or certain types of swords. And the last one, and it depends on also cultural relevance as well. Again, I apologise if I've got this wrong, but the beautiful people of the Sikh religion carry a knife called a kirpan. So because it has some cultural relevance and religious relevance to them, then they're allowed to do that. Another fine example of that would be, as on my mother's side of the family, I'm mixed race, I'm part Scottish. This knife is called a scian-dubh, which is a fixed blade knife, which is always kept in your dominant, I don't know why I'm doing that, you can't see my leg, but it's always kept in the dominant side sock. So, you know, if I'm walking into Tesco and I get stopped, or walking anywhere and I'm wearing my kilt, then it's part of my cultural attire, so that's perfectly fine. If I'm caught fighting in the middle of the town wearing nothing of my Scottish regalia with a knife like this, then, you know, I shouldn't be carrying it. So just some cracking examples. I mean, I've shown you one already. So there you've got your perfect Swiss Army knife. You know, it does what it needs to do, and it's always looked at as a tool. So slip joints really are that perfect example of what's fine here in the UK. In fact, the slip joint pretty much was invented here in the UK. Pen knives, pocket knives, gentlemen's pocket knives were invented here for adults to be able to sharpen knives and quills back in the day. Another example of a slip joint, you know, I reviewed this the other week, One of my favouriteest knives that I carry with me the most is a friction folder. This is the Sword Peasant Mini. The Sword Peasant, the blade on that is longer than 3 inches, so that is illegal, whereas this one, the Mini, is perfectly legal. Yes, the friction folder is designed in a way that you hold that there and it stops it from closing. However, it can close, there is no locking mechanism. But then there's some other knives that you'd think, well, maybe I could be allowed to carry this. So here we have an Opinel number 6. Blade, short enough, it does fold, which is fine. However, because it has the pivot in the centre which stops it from closing, strictly speaking, although the blade is short enough, that is on the list of things that is illegal to carry, or at least you need to have good reason to carry it here in the UK. Other things like I forgot about them for a second, the Leatherman Skeletal. The blade is short enough. It is a folder, but it has that locking mechanism. So again, strictly speaking, you need to have good reason to be carrying this. You do find with a lot of Leathermans though, because they are that style of multi-tool, that, you know, they tend to be a little bit more lenient with these sort of things. And then we've already touched on these fixed blades. So it is okay to own fixed blades. However, if you're using a fixed blade for gardening, that's fine. If you're using it for reenactments, again, that's fine. If you're mad into bushcraft, use it, but don't go into towns with it. So yeah, I hope that helps. I hope it gives you just a little bit more information around why people worry about carrying knives here in the UK. There is a lot of inner city crime with knives. However, and again, this is, I tried not to go on opinion, but this is not based on any figures. However, this is probably just a guess by me. The vast majority of inner city crime is not perpetrated with a Swiss Army knife. Okay, it's perpetrated with a knife that you could probably go to Asda and just buy a chef's knife. Oh, chef's knife. If you're a chef and you're walking through town and you've got a roll of knives, that's fine. If you say, you know, there's the restaurant that I work in, I'm going there, then, you know, that's a valid reason. If you have a 12-inch chef knife tucked into the waist of your tracksuit bottoms and you stop by the police, that's a bit odd. You shouldn't be doing that, really, should you? So there are reasons why we do have these knives, and it's mainly down to the fact that we do have a lot of inner city crime that is carried out with knives. So it is for good reason, and it is there to protect us. But also, you know, there's facts that, again, try not to add opinion to this, but there are laws that do mean that if you want to carry a pocket knife, and that's fine. If you carry a sword, people don't know I have this in my pocket a lot of the time. I take it out, I open a box with it. I love that meme where it's like what your wife thinks you do with it, what your friends think you do with it, what you actually do with it, and just open boxes with it and stuff like that. You know, it's just a tool to do that sort of stuff. If you brandish a knife running into a co-op going rah, 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 then, you know, it's being misused. So there's two last main points, and that is that if you're using it in a threatening way, whether it's illegal or not, then you're just misusing that tool. It shouldn't be used like that. And the last super important point, and this really is the most important point of all of this, whether it's illegal or illegal, and that is if you're stopped by the police, talk to them like they're human beings. Every single police officer is a constable that wants to go home to see their wife, to see their husband, to see their children. They will be asking you these questions for a reason. They wear stab vests for a reason. Yeah, I can carry this. There's no reason why I can't carry it. You know, there's no need to do that to a police constable. Yes, I do have one on me. It's a UK legal knife. I can pass it to you if you wish. I can leave it in your pocket, in my pocket, if you want to take it out. talk to them with respect, and you'll have respect shown back to you. I think that's possibly something that is definitely my opinion. However, it is a widely held opinion, and something that needs to be in society more. Moving on quickly. Hey, so definitely love to hear in your comments, where do you live? What country do you come from? What are the knife laws where you are? How do they differ? Again, let's keep it respectful, but there's no reason why we can't all talk about the different knives that we carry, and the different knives and situations that we can carry. If you've enjoyed this video, hey, we have different laws around firearms here in the UK. We have different laws about lots of different things. Put it in the comments if there's something that you'd like to learn a little bit more about, whether you're from the UK or whether you're outside of the UK and you want to hear more about. You know, we have a thriving firearm community, both for rifles, shotguns, and pistols. They are legal to own here. There are some caveats and ways in which they can be used, but yeah, I'm more than happy to talk about that as well. Cool. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, you know the deal. Feel free to share. Definitely hit that like button. The YouTube algorithm loves the like. Probably waffled on a little bit too long, so like, share, do all that stuff. Hey, okay, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Shoot. Knocked that with my elbow, but I'll carry on. No, I won't. The knives themselves, I wasn't going to show you these to the end, but I might as well grab them. So here's a classic example. The knife itself must be a pivot knife. It can't be a shit. It can't be a knife that doesn't pivot. Why is that word going out of my head? Bollocks! Fixed knife. Why wouldn't I just say that? Oh, you idiot! Start again. Fixed knife, pivot knife, fixed knife, pivot knife. Here we go. This is the world of the Moorlander. Can I pick it up? No, start again.